Robert Plant, the lead vocalist, singer and lyricist of Led Zeppelin, has always been respected and regarded as one of the most influential figures in rock music ever since his debut. Known for his flamboyant on-stage persona, his uniquely raw voice and his skillful songwriting, Plant has been regarded as the greatest metal vocalist of all time by hit parroter. Even though critics have been divided about his voice, with someone saying it was too gravelly, he has still appeared on numerous lists accolading his performances, including Rolling Stone's 100 Best Singers of All Time, top pick for Greatest Lead Singer in their Readers' Poll, the 50 Great Voices by NPR, and ranked 4th on Billboard's 50 Greatest Rock Lead Singers of All Time. He was also termed the greatest voice in rock in a 2009 poll conducted by UK classic rock radio station Planet Rock. But behind the flashy exterior lay a hidden secret, a dark animosity between Plant and his band Led Zeppelin. There is no denying that Led Zeppelin played a huge role in bringing Plant's talent to a global audience, and during their time active, however, the best of co-workers and band members are not always the best of friends. For Led Zeppelin, this was definitely the case, but before there was animosity between Plant and other members, there had also been fondness. Before Led Zeppelin, Plant had already found rock and roll music to be one of his favorite things in the world. Ever since he had been 10, he had been singing and dreaming of going on the stage. In a 1994 interview with Andrew Denton, he said that when he was a kid he used to hide behind the curtains at home at Christmas, and he used to try and be Elvis, stating that there was a certain ambience between the curtains and the French windows. There was a certain sound there for a 10-year-old. That was all the ambience he got at 10 years old. And he always wanted to be a bit similar to that. He knew his true ambition lied in music, which is why he left college, where he was training to become a chartered accountant after only 2 weeks in, and then abandoned his home to pursue his dreams. During this period, he drifted from one band to the next, one of his major roles being in Hobbs Tweedle, the 1960s band he had been performing in before he finally found his breakthrough with Led Zeppelin. Interestingly enough, Plant had not been the first choice for the band. Jimmy Page had been searching for a lead singer but had faced rejections from his first few choices, which finally led him down the path to meet Plant. In front of Page, he performed Somebody to Love by Jefferson Airplane, after which Page remarked that when he auditioned him and heard him sing, he immediately thought there must be something wrong with him personality-wise, or that he had to be impossible to work with, because he just could not understand why, after he told me he'd been singing for a few years already, he hadn't become a big name yet. Paige was so impressed that he invited him over to see whether they would work well together immediately, and soon after, Led Zeppelin gained its final and youngest member. Right after he had joined, Plant began working on writing songs and testing lyrics for the band other than his vocal contributions. Almost all songs except 3 in Led Zeppelin's first album were penned by him, and the release resulted in the album hitting the charts and being dubbed as one of the major catalysts for the heavy metal music genre. Soon success was chasing the band, and Plant was experiencing fame on a level he had not expected, with fans worldwide rooting for him, making his younger self beam with pride. His onstage presence was highly acclaimed, resulting in the creation of the rock god archetype at the height of the band's success in the 1970s. When performing, Plant sported a mane of long blonde hair and appeared bare-chested, jumping, roaring, and making highly animated gestures to bring the lyrics he sang to life. His outfits were also a major contributor to his fame, with colorful jeans and jackets, along with many iconic jewelry pieces being a part of his performances. One of the oddest awards he received during this time for his style was the Rock Scene magazine's Chest-O-Rama, which was given to whoever had the best chest in the world of rock. Plant was honored to be on the receiving end and found the accolade to be a hilarious addition to his collection. However, despite the success of the rock band Led Zeppelin, there seemed to be little love lost between its members despite the many years they spent together side by side. The only thing that brought them together was music, since each member loved nothing more than performing, but that is where their similarities ended, especially when the work became steadily more tiring and many of the members slowly grew more and more in their general discomfort within the band. For Robert Plant, the biggest issue with Led Zeppelin was that it was not his band. Jimmy Page had been the one to bring the band together, and each member was treated more like a glorified wage worker than a true bandmate. It was Page who decided the musical direction of the band and the roles everyone was allotted, which was difficult for Plant since he had an individual streak and had always wanted something that would be his alone. Paige had also described Plant as a singer first and foremost, which underestimated the skills he had in other departments, leading to dissatisfaction. The tensions within the band heightened when member Bonham began using alcohol and drugs, which soon spiraled into his death by overdose, bringing a sudden end to Led Zeppelin. In a 2007 interview with Q, another member Jones described his relationship with Plant and other members, stating that we get along fine, but the thing is, we have never socialized. As soon as we left the road, we never saw each other, which I always thought contributed to the longevity and harmony of the band. We weren't friends. Plant had also indicated the way he felt regarding his relationships with the band in general through a discussion he had had with their manager Peter Grant during the height of Led Zeppelin's fame. Despite having more success than many singers dreamed, he had asked Grant if he would support him if he decided to pursue a solo career outside of the band. When Grant had indicated that the band was perfect as it was, asking who the singer imagined would play the other instruments if he went on to release a solo album, Plant had dropped the subject. But it seemed he had never truly let it go, since right after Led Zeppelin broke up, Plant decided to pursue a solo career. During his solo career, which goes on even today, Plant released many successful songs and albums, inspired by many events in his life. Since he had more control of the music he made alone, he enjoyed performing more than ever before. He collaborated with many other artists including Phil Johnstone, Jeff Beck and Alison Krauss. An interesting twist to these collaborations included his performing act with Jimmy Page that continued for 4 years, in which they released another album together since fans loved seeing them perform with each other. Since it was only the two of them, Plant also had more control in the music production, which greatly helped. However, despite this, Plant continued preferring solo performances. Many fans requested Robert Plant time and again to play his part and reform Led Zeppelin, especially following the successful reunions of other bands of the time including ABBA, Beatles and Rolling Stones. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, there are over 20 million fans waiting for the band to return on stage, and with tickets going for as high as $600 USD, the potential to make big bucks is unlimited. For Plant, however, the success was not worth the freedom. In an interview with Los Angeles Times, Plant said going back to the font to get some kind of massive applause, it doesn't really satisfy his need to be stimulated. He continued saying that he knew there were people from his generation who don't want to stay home and so they go out and play, and if they were enjoying it and doing what they need to do to pass the days, then that was their business, really. It seems that Plant loves music for the joy and delight it gives him rather than any fame or monetary incentive he could have. His joy comes from being his authentic self and being able to release music that follows the direction he wants rather than what the popular culture demands. When performances earn less than expected, the 75-year-old Robert Plant smiles and thanks his fans anyway. It is no secret that he does not need the money, but it appears he needs Led Zeppelin even less. What is your favorite Robert Plant performance? Tell us in the comments below.